r/AskReddit. Relevant Great 4106 says, what was the best/most satisfying way you dealt with a toxic superior at work that put them in their moral place and didn't get you fired? Agent X 75228 says, I had a manager that tried to steal credit for a Excel spreadsheet I created that would make reviewing and submitting expense reports 100x easier. After I showed it to her, I overheard her telling her supervisor about it, but said, I created, not my employee created. So I immediately changed the spreadsheet with locked cells that were password protected, with a glaring and bolded created by my name, and resaved a copy on my drive. Then it came time to present it at the manager's meeting, and I copied my file over the original, and when she opened it, she couldn't do anything with it, and of course my name was on it. She ended up calling me into the meeting, giving me credit, and I unlocked the cells, and then began to explain how it worked. She was red-faced the rest of the meeting with her boss glaring daggers at her. Cleaner Dickhead says, oh, this one is good. Straight up catharsis. Gulthiphonix0788 says, alright. Like this story got me feeling good vicariously through them. I could listen to a million stories just like this one anytime I'm feeling at my wit's end. Good to know sometimes the good guys do in fact win out. They should give this person that manager's job immediately. I Am a Cannibal says, my first job was at McDonald's. One of the managers had worked for my mom a few years before and hated my mom. She was a dogshit employee and my mom fired her because of it. When she realized who I was, she started treating me like shit and making me do all the shitty stuff, cutting my hours when possible, and giving me bad shifts like overnights on the weekend, then lunch shifts during the week just to frick with me. One day she yelled at me because my hair was too long. I literally shave my head to 1/4 every other week, so it was at most 1/2 long maybe. My response was, my head is shaved, you frick, I'm asshole, and took my hat off to show her. The main store manager was there. Luckily I had been reporting all of the mistreatment and the store manager agreed that my hair has never been too long. I got talked to about cussing at her. She got fired. I'm 100% sure she hates my entire family at this point. Publa Cachaza says, I mean, let her hate, it's all she knows. Anonymous says, if you ever loved me, don't rob me of my hate. It's all I have. Expat Mel says, I told him in no uncertain terms that he could not speak to me the way he was and that if he did it again I'd leave. I made it clear that I could walk into any restaurant on our block and get a job on the spot, true, but he had no other options. There was no one who could take my 40 HRS/week and all my responsibilities. I was essentially running half the restaurant at that point, and it would take weeks to find and train somebody to do half of what I do. Betting my job on an ultimatum was terrifying, but it worked. He never spoke to me that way again. Dulscar0 says, I wish I saw this. I just quit my job after he made me cry. My manager is a do it my way or the highway type of guy. Thanks for letting me know what to do now. Webcrawler29 says, sorry you had to deal with it, but good on you for not staying. I hope things will improve for you. Readding Reddit for fun says, I had a manager who thought it was part of his job to manage people's personal lives too. I, female, was stuck with him and another manager, also female, in a car en route to an off-site meeting. He took this opportunity to ask me about my recent slew of so-called doctor appointments I had had. They had been legitimate appointments and I could have even provided doctor's notes if he had asked, but he didn't go that route. I simply asked him if he wanted to continue the conversation when we got back to the office and ours could be present, or if I should arrange for a consultation with my attorney. He shut up really quickly. Catmum8787 says, I like you. Key Jacket 1697 says, You two seem like you'd get along. You have cats, and they have books. New friends? Lol. Mistingus Malingus 86 says. Starbucks. Manager was talking to the DM, kissing ass and lying about her performance and the store's performance. The phone rang. It was an irate customer whom she had just called the N-word. I said, "Hey, Michelle, that woman whom you referred to as a ghetto ass N-word is on the phone. She wants to talk to you. She has corporate on the line." She turned so many different colors, she was gone by the end of my shift. Of course, it was all my fault in her eyes. Wanderer 23 says. I'd have been proud to have been at fault for that. Bravohood 00 says. You win. Menace 23 says. Not an interaction with a superior, but with a colleague. I work in it. I do tech support over the phone for a financial institution. User calls and asks about an issue he's having, so I remote into his computer and start asking questions to understand the nature of the problem. I eventually ask him if he can inquire with his colleagues to see if they're experiencing the same problem. So he opens up our chat messaging app, asks someone to check, and follows it up with "I'm with tech support right now, not the brightest guy," which I can very clearly see because I'm still connected. So I immediately remind him that I can still see his screen and that I find what he just said very disrespectful. He gets defensive, tells me I'm asking too many questions and shouldn't you know how to fix my problem, to which I tell him that's exactly what I'm in the process of doing. Didn't take long for him to realize he's being a douche for no reason. In almost 10 years of doing this job at different levels, this was the first time someone apologized to me for acting out of line and didn't just ask to speak to a manager or hang up on me. I accepted his apology and then proceeded to not only solve the issue, but end the call on a good note. This happened 2 weeks ago. r/AskReddit. Own Economist 9444 says. What would you choose if you had to choose one meal to eat for the rest of your life? Samurg says. Pizza. Elisauk says. It'd have to be something that can be varied a lot. Like pasta, pizza or soup, etc. Otherwise you'd get sick of it faster than you'd think. Involution says. Spaghetti bolognese. Matters thinks says. A good steak and some potato wedges. Futuratero 3014 says. Fried chicken. Justin Memes says. I'm addicted to cheeseburgers. Raidenation 395 says. Tacos. So many meat options to switch it up and not get bored. Goose says. Pot roast offers pretty much everything you need, I think. Vegas. Meat. Starchy carbs. Flavor. Then you can use the liquid from cooking to wash it down. Viralagal Seagull says. Cheerios with spaghetti OS for the liquid. J Flow says. Gyro with Greek fries. Arctic Valley says. A good Cuban sandwich. Zixtuamedx says. Sushi. Sajapuma 13 says. Pasta. There are endless possibilities with sauces, vegas, and proteins. You can have it with a simple tomato sauce one day and a rich Alfredo the next. Never gets old. Dynastica says. Chicken Alfredo. There is literally no way I could not want to eat that. I will probably be super unhealthy, but it's too good. Humble Run 2787 says. Some kind of Mediterranean that has a bit of every macro. Dramatic Natural 112 says. Tacos. Lots of different fillings and sauces. You could have a balanced diet on tacos. There's also different textures, so you won't get bored as quickly as something like pizza. Long Jumping Load 823 says. Breakfast food like pancakes, eggs, and sausage. Dulcini Pink 69 says. Fried chicken with potatoes. Thesknitz 25 says. Easy, cherry flavored pears. Artsy Traveler 82 says. Roast chicken and vegetables. It's not the most exciting answer, but it's nutritionally sustainable. Sabarus Terrace says. Jimmy John's Hash 11 Country Club with double meat. Disgruntled Patu says. Soup. Best Assistant 4211 says. There's this falafel place in Melbourne or Sid, definitely take that. And Sheened Banana 2060 says. Pizza with kebab. Standard Score 911 says. Butter chicken and basmati rice. Descent Steaks says. Some burritos actually. Chinkstretcher 88 says. As a Chinese I can eat dog fried lice all day every day. Kellen Hiller 1 says. Shredded beef taco, cheese enchilada and refried beans. Unhip 1 says. Pizza. Bambiboyo 4444 says. Can I make different variants of the same food like tacos? Or do I have to dress them the same every time? Zgenocidest says. Chicken and rice. Lichanthropegum says. Corned beef hash and scrambled eggs. Prestigious Scars says. Probably chicken salad or something. I'm going to get sick of whatever I eat, I might as well be healthy with my choice. Massitafg says. Chicken wings. Moonjewel 90 says. Ramen. Away Sound 4010 says. Definition: a curry. Do we have to have specific spices? Yep, it's a curry. Reasonable Wave 8093 says. Dal. Water in beer says. IDK if it's too broad, but fish. Foaming Dog Father says. Birmingham Balti. OK Honeydew 1946 says. Chili's Pick 3 appetizer. With honey chipotle tenders, big mouth bits, and southwestern egg rolls. And so much ranch. Ken Pachi says. Steak, eggs, veg and potatoes. Any combo. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.